everyone, today I'm going to show you my favorite beginner bread recipe. So we're going to start with 2 cups of bread flour into a stand mixer fitted with a paddle attachment. The measuring of this recipe doesn't matter too much with the flour because I'm going to give you certain things to look for in the recipe, and that's how you'll know you'll have the perfect amount of flour, not necessarily measuring it. So we have 2 cups of flour in here. I'm also going to add 3 tablespoons of sugar. This is what will feed the yeast. Three tablespoons of sugar. We're going to do 2 teaspoons of salt. This is going to help flavor the bread. We're going to add 1 packet of quick rise or instant yeast. 1 packet is the equivalent of 2 1/4 teaspoons. Make sure we're pretty precise with the yeast. We want to make sure in the bowl that didn't go near the salt, because that can kill the yeast. Next, we're going to add 1/4 cup of dry milk. This helps keep the dough nice and soft. If you don't have dry milk, don't worry about it. You can just skip this step. All right, so I'm just going to quickly stir that together. Then I'm going to add in 2 cups of warm water. And then I'm going to add in 3 tablespoons of softened butter. And I'll add that in slowly so it has a chance to combine. All right, once all that's mixed in, I'm going to add in 1 more cup of flour. And then I'm going to start adding 1/4 cup at a time. What I'm looking for here is for the dough to clean the sides of the bowl. Soon I'm going to switch over to the dough hook. And I'll do that as soon as my mixer really starts to labor, which you can start hearing right now. So I'll get all of that off the paddle attachment here. And switch to our dough hook. And again, I'm going to continue to add 1/4 cup at a time here. Ultimately, we'll have about 5 to 6 cups of flour in here. The reason this recipe doesn't call for measuring is it can take into account all these other environmental factors. The humidity in the air, the moisture on your hands as you're kneading, anything like that can quickly throw off a bread recipe. So when you learn to look for the cues of the bread instead of measuring, it'll make a big difference. All right, if you'll notice, we're starting to see areas where the bowl is getting clean. That means we're really close. Maybe about an 1/8 cup more at this point. And that's what we're looking for. You can tell that the sides of the bowl are starting to get clean. Now we're just gonna let this knead for about 10 minutes. If you wanted to switch and do it by hand at this point, you can. Actually, as this goes, I'm gonna add a little bit more. It should be in one cohesive ball, and it should clean the sides each time, and you shouldn't see lots of bits sticking to the side of the bowl. That's better. Okay, one more addition, then I'm done, I promise. And again here, it's more important that you're reading the dough instead of following the exact measure on your recipe here. All right, so we'll be back in 10 minutes when this is finished kneading, and I'll show you what your dough should look like.